Hi everyone. Today I've been thinking a lot about all of our elders, and it made me think of my grandmother, my father's mother, who passed, God, 30 years ago. But she was more of a mother to me than my own mother, quite honestly. And I wanted to share a story about her, and she lived in Brooklyn, New York, and then share a poem about her toward the end of her life. But she lived to be 94, and in her last couple of years of her life, this was before formal assisted living, and she was in a wing of a Kingsbrook Medical Center in Brooklyn, which doesn't exist anymore. And I would go to visit her, my family would. I was living upstate, so a little ways away, and I would go to visit her when I could. And it was a beautiful time of year, like this time of year, beautiful sunny day. I came in to see her, and she was Grandma Minnie, and she was a Russian immigrant, always had a thick Russian Jewish accent. And when I came in, I saw her before she realized I was there, and I saw that she looked kind of glum, and I looked around and I said, "Oh, hi, Grandma." I said, "How are you doing today?" And she said, "Oh, it's a gray day." And it was a beautiful day. So at first I thought, because my parents were preparing me, that she was in her 90s and maybe she wasn't always lucid. But I looked around the one room she was in, which she'd been in for 6 months, and it only had one window. And the window hadn't been cleaned in like a year. It was filthy. And so for her, it was a gray day. So I said, "Grandma, the window's dirty. It's actually a beautiful day. Let's go out into the courtyard and I'll make sure that the window's cleaned." And as only someone almost 100 years old who had traveled across an ocean to get here could say, she looked at the window, she looked at me, she chuckled, sat on the edge of the bed and said, "Ah, got a dirty eye, see a dirty world." And I count that as immigrant wisdom, which I say pointedly in these times. And it was amazing to me. That bit of wisdom has saved me over these 30 years many times, because certainly there will be gray days. But a practice I've assumed is before I give all of my energy to dealing with a gray day, I have to make sure that my lens isn't dirty, my eye, my heart, my ears, my mind. So how do we make a practice of cleaning our eyes, our mind, our heart? The Sufis have a practice known as polishing the heart till it becomes a mirror, so it can reflect all of life as well as be seen through. So I wanted to share a poem that came from those days. This is from my very first book, which came out in 1988, God, the Maker of the Bed and the Painter. And on another time of around that time, on another beautiful day, I came to see her in that hospital home setting. And this is called To Live Out the Gift. In the sun, in the yard, between the brick towers, where orderlies eat hard rolls and yawn. In the sun, with her rubber brake on and her foot plates heating. In the sun, for the first time in 7 months, she beams back to the fresh earth she has not yet forgotten. In the sun, in the yard of the facility, she says, the warm breeze brushing her face, "I want to go home." I wheel her around. She says the trees are beautiful. The clouds are beautiful. She says the pansies and stray wounded hungry cats are beautiful. She thinks the dirty bricks are beautiful as she inhales the light and sighs, "Why can't I go home?" Her white hair is swept in a wave and she is healing in the sun, and I start to feel we are home. She closes her eyes and the heat is laced with bees, and the warmth and buzz drape her strong near-century lids, and she smiles, then looks beyond the garden and says with a laugh, "Where are we?" I start to retrace the day, to frame her in, but the sun like a knell of God overwhelms us, and I just rub the wind from her face. She takes my hand, washing it in the dish of air between us, and says serenely, "I don't know where we are." And I confess, all organs of memory in my throat, neither do I. So I encourage you to think of your elders and send love to them in these difficult times, and hope you can keep growing in place. I will see you soon. Susan, let's give everybody their daily dose of Zuzu, who's sleeping today, as we're on a sunny day.
I was just wondering if you wanted to show a photo of your grandmother.
All right, right here. Yeah.
So
That's my grandmother and grandfather in the 1920s. All right.